If you've noticed your TikTok feed feels different lately, you aren't crazy, it's changed. These are the reasons why, and these are the sinister forces behind it. In late 2025, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu dropped a bomb in a room full of social media influencers.
We have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged, and the most important ones are on social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is TikTok, number one.
Why would a foreign leader care so much about a video app? Because a massive, coordinated financial takeover just handed control of the world's most powerful algorithm to a network of billionaires, tech giants, and defense contractors with deep, explicit financial ties to the Israeli military. This is the paper trail of how TikTok was bought, retrained, and weaponized to push you away from opposing genocide and into full-blown fascism. TikTok has become home to some of the most racist content imaginable, powered often by AI and fomenting fear in our communities. The new weapons of war were not just tanks and bombs, but algorithms and artificial intelligence. What we witnessed throughout the preceding months was a highly coordinated, Israel-backed moral panic. US lawmakers stood before cameras, feigning concern over data privacy and foreign surveillance.
I want to ban TikTok for a very simple reason. They allow the Chinese Communist Party to gain access to all of the private data on any device in America that's using TikTok. This company should be banned. I don't know why they're allowed to operate in the United States.
But behind closed doors, the anxiety was entirely ideological. They admitted it. They openly cited the viral prevalence of pro-Palestinian content among American youth as a national security threat.
Typically, the Israelis are good at PR. What's happened here? If you look at the postings on TikTok and the number of mentions of Palestinians relative to other social media sites, it's overwhelmingly so among TikTok. The president will get the chance to make action in that regard.
The corporate media told you the algorithm was broken. In reality, the algorithm was simply reflecting the organic solidarity of millions of young people witnessing a genocide in real time. And so, the hammer fell. Under the architecture of a forced divestment, a new entity was birthed in January 2026. TikTok USDS Joint Venture LLC. They installed a manager, Adam Presser, and almost immediately footage surfaced of Presser speaking at a World Jewish Congress event in occupied Jerusalem. He didn't speak as a neutral tech executive. He spoke as an architect of narrative control.
We made a change to designate the use of the term Zionist as a proxy for a protected attribute as hate speech. You can use it in the sense of you're a proud Zionist, but if you're using it in the context of degrading somebody, calling somebody a Zionist as a dirty name, then that gets designated as hate speech.
Under his watch, enforcement actions tripled. Comment sections became algorithmic graveyards where phrases like Free Palestine are instantly auto-flagged and systematically purged. But Presser is simply the storefront manager. To understand how public consciousness is being engineered, we must follow the money. We must look at the cartel of private equity, sovereign wealth, and defense tech billionaires who now own the code. The heart, the brain, and the secure cloud infrastructure of this retrained algorithm has been handed entirely to Oracle. Oracle is not a neutral utility. Its billionaire founder and chief technology officer, Larry Ellison, one of the wealthiest men on earth, has personally funneled over $26 million into the Friends of the IDF charity. His ideological alignment is so absolute that he reportedly offered Benjamin Netanyahu a directorship on Oracle's board.
I have spent time to the people who govern the state of Israel, defended by all the brave men and women of the IDF. So anything we can do to support them.
But it's Oracle CEO and Vice Chair Safra Katz who lays bare the institutional complicity of this enterprise.
You hit our website in an Arab country and you saw your entire screen filled with an Israeli flag, which said, not only we stand with Israel, we stand with our employees in Israel, we stand with the people of Israel, we stand with the military establishment of Israel.
Speaking at the Israeli-American Council, Katz described a visit inside the Kiryat, Israel's Pentagon, where she observed her own Oracle employees dressed in Israeli military uniforms.
I was in the Kiryat, and I go in, and I meet with everyone you'd imagine I meet with. And on my way out, I run into, 5 of my team who are all in uniform working. And to be honest with you, it's like my proudest moment.
She then stated openly,
there's a few things that we did to advance the agenda for the Israeli military that I really can't talk about, to be honest. We have some really profoundly scary technology at Oracle, and we wanted to make sure that it was available for the effort. Let's just say that, okay?
Okay. You don't have to say anything. Okay.
Let those words vibrate in your consciousness. The executive officer of the corporation that isolates, screens, and manages the data of hundreds of millions of TikTok users is doing classified work to advance the strategic agenda of the Israeli military.
The one thing I see, and also because we have had family members in these intelligence units, I love to go to those units. They show me some extremely cool stuff that they use our technology. And I have to say, a lot of these TikTok videos that are put out, ultimately, of incredible things that the IDF does, I saw that before.
2015 emails between Safra Katz and former Israeli Prime Minister and head of military intelligence, Ehud Barak, were leaked recently. Under the subject line, I'd like your input, Katz emailed Barak to pitch a reality television show concept centered on women in the Israeli military forces. Katz explicitly stated that the ultimate goal of the television series was to humanize the IDF in the eyes of the American public. She urged Barak to sign on to the project as a consulting producer. While the show, created by Safra's sister, Sarit Katz, eventually premiered in 2024, Barak did not ultimately serve as a producer. This is the same Safra Katz who directed Oracle to pay double salaries to Israeli employees during the Gaza genocide. When you trace the financial capillaries of this new TikTok joint venture, you find a cartel of private equity firmly embedded in the apparatus of the Israeli occupation. If Oracle is the technological armor, look at the private equity firms providing the capital. Consider Vastmere Strategic Investments, a subsidiary of Susquehanna International Group. Its founders, Jeff Yass and Arthur Danchik, hold a staggering stake in TikTok's global ecosystem. Through their Claws Foundation, where Yass and Danchik serve as directors, they have funneled funds into the Israeli military through the Friends of the IDF. They have also poured hundreds of thousands of dollars into the Central Fund of Israel, an entity that the New York Times describes as a financial clearinghouse for illegal, violent settlement development in the occupied West Bank. They have even bankrolled the David Horowitz Freedom Center, which employed Tommy Robinson. This is the capital backing your TikTok feed. Virgo LI Inc. also owns TikTok. This is the personal investment arm of billionaire Israeli tech investor Yuri Milner. Milner's proximity to power in Israel is profound. He shares a social relationship with Benjamin Netanyahu spanning over a decade, a relationship so intimate that Milner was quietly questioned by Israeli police during the witness testimony collection for Netanyahu's high-profile corruption and bribery probes. Another owner of the app is the Dell family office, the personal vehicle of Michael Dell. In January 2023, his enterprise secured a $150 million tender from the Israeli Ministry of Defense, funded via US foreign military aid. Dell became the primary provider of the server networks, data maintenance, and IT hardware supplying the IDF and the domestic security apparatus. The very hardware that powers the administrative machinery of occupation is born from the same family fortune now buying a stake in TikTok. The reach extends into global surveillance and regional normalization. MGX also owns TikTok, a joint venture between Abu Dhabi's sovereign wealth fund, Mubadala, and G42, the UAE's dominant artificial intelligence conglomerate. Mubadala holds a $1.1 billion stake in Israel's offshore Tamir gas field, co-operating critical infrastructure directly supplying the domestic Israeli market. Mubadala Capital poured $50 million into the private equity fund that fully owns the NSO Group, the notorious Israeli cyber intelligence firm responsible for Pegasus spyware, a weapon used globally to target journalists, dissidents, and human rights defenders. Another shareholder in TikTok is NJJ Capital, the family office of French telecommunications billionaire Xavier Niel. Niel's footprint in the region is defined by his co-founding of Golan Telecom, an enterprise that actively provides mobile network coverage to illegal Israeli settlements built on occupied Palestinian and Syrian land, settlements recognized as war crimes under international law. When you string these pieces together, the picture ceases to be about corporate restructuring or national security. It is an algorithmic coup. The Western ruling class and the Zionist lobby realized they were losing the information war. They realized that generations of young people, unburdened by the editorial filters of legacy corporate media, were seeing the raw, unedited horror of apartheid through their phones. They could not change the reality of the violence on the ground, so instead, they pulled billions of dollars of military-linked settlement-backing capital, seized the digital public square, and re-engineered the code. They are filtering your language, they are suppressing your dissent, they are conditioning your empathy. They could not stop you from looking at Palestine, so they bought the screen you were looking through. The question is no longer just what are we watching, but who is controlling the eyes with which we see.